Hey guys, what's up? Gamer Guy 7 Aces here, and I've been thinking a lot about, the future of Sonic after these two games, Mania and Forces, come out, morally Sonic Mania. Now, as we've known, there's been a lot of hype going on for the two games, especially Sonic Mania. Like, that one has the most hype, and that is the Sonic game all of us are the most confident about, no offense to Forces, but Sonic Mania is going to do very well. It may even do too well. It might overwhelm Sega. Let me explain myself. I just want to, this video is going to be a kind of a what if video. Like, what if Sonic Mania succeeds and Sonic Forces doesn't, or Sonic Mania, overshadows Sonic Forces, which is most likely the case. Now, Sega knows, we all know Sonic Mania is going to do good. But to be honest, Sega has not had a consistent score of 9s and 9 out of 10s and 10 out of 10s since Sonic 3 and Knuckles. So that's been a long time. Even the most well-received Sonic games lately, like Sonic Color, Sonic Generations, they got more like, 8s and 9s and couple of 7s, but not 9s and 10s, So when Sonic Mania does good, it's going to do very good, and it's going to overwhelm Sega so much to the point that Sega is going to change their direction. They're going to change the way they do things. Let me explain. Now, Sega, they've been a struggling company for a while now, and anything that will work, they will continue running with it. I think they are done experimenting with Sonic. They just want to do what works now and go with it. Like, that's why they're making all these games to appease to different people. Mania is for the classic fans, Forces for the modern fans. Even this adventure, Sonic Runners Adventure for the mobile fans or whatever. They even did Sonic Boom last year and Lego Sonic Dimensions. So when Sonic Mania does extremely well, Sega's not stupid. They're not going to be like, okay, Christian Whitehead, thanks for working on this game. We don't need you to work on any more Sonic games. We can take it from here. No. They're going to be like, yo, Christian Whitehead, can you make more of this? Like, I was talking to Blue Paradox and I said, Sega might actually have Christian Whitehead. They might greenlight an entire Sonic Mania trilogy. Like, it'll be a new Sonic trilogy, classic Sonic trilogy for Mania, like Sonic Mania 2 and 3 or something. And I wouldn't doubt it. This is not the last time we're seeing Pixel Sonic in a classic Sonic game, And many things can happen. Either Sega will give Christian Whitehead his own company. Sure, he's doing, I don't know if it's Pagoda West or whatever. I forgot the company that's working on Sonic Mania. It's definitely Christian Whitehead. Music is from T-Lobes. Yeah, the developers for Sonic Mania is Headcanon and Pagoda West Games. Now, those aren't really affiliated with Sega, I think, 'cause I've never heard of those before. But I'm pretty sure after the success of Sonic Mania, Christian Whitehead is either going to get his own company, like his own division for Sega, like kind of like Dimps or Sanzaru Games or something like that, and they're specifically going to be making Sonic Mania related games. Or Sega is going to merge his team with Sonic Team, and Sonic Team is going to want a bit of this, Mania action. They're going to start incorporating classic Sonic more into their future quote-unquote modern Sonic games. That's the only two ways I see this going. Either they will separate the two and have a completely retro Sonic, franchise of games led by Christian Whitehead. That will be stellar. Or they're going to merge Christian Whitehead with Sonic Team. And the only way I see them merging with Sonic Team is if Sonic Forces underperforms. Like, when I say underperform, I'm not saying it's going to be a bad game. If it gets scores similar to Lost World, that is still considered a failure to say that. It has to do good. It has to be as good as Colors and Generations. It even has to be better than that. If it does anywhere below that, that's considered a failure in Sega's eyes. And Sega, they are probably not going to approach modern Sonic the same way again. And that is a bad thing. If they merge Sonic Team with Christian Whitehead, they're just going to, pander to nostalgia. Like, they're going to go overboard with nostalgia. And that's when I'm going to start having a problem, because Sega, and that's why they always, even Sonic 4 did rehashes of Sonic 1 and 2, because those were the highest selling classic Sonic games. Even though Sonic 3 Knuckles is considered their best classic Sonic games, those didn't sell as well as Sonic 1 and 2. So that's how Sega sees things. They see things in numbers and scores. So yeah, so that is why Sonic Forces needs to do good this year. And it's kind of saddening to see a lot of people bashing on this game and overpraising Sonic Mania. Now I love Sonic Mania. I have a huge editorial video to do specifically on Mania. You know, I want that to be the best. I want that to be game of the year. But Forces also has to do good. It has to do Generations good, because if it doesn't, we may never see a 3D Sonic game like that again. It's going to be mostly classic Sonic. And yeah, so that is why these two games are important. And Sonic Mania is going to change Sega, because right now it looks like, oh, this is just a one-time project Sega's doing with Christian Whitehead, you know, just to appease the fans. No. Sega has never been one to do that. If that's the case, we wouldn't be seeing classic Sonic again in Sonic Forces, right? Now, I know I've made an argument about that, saying the story is more fleshed out, but whether or not the story demands for classic Sonic to be back, the whole point is that classic Sonic is in Forces. They could have used any other character, but they used classic Sonic because he was from a great game, Sonic Generations. So, you know, if Mania does well, we're going to be seeing a lot more of games like Mania, which I have no problem. My problem is when Sonic Forces fails, and then they're going to be overdoing Sonic Mania and Classic Sonic to compensate for that. You know, because Sega is not going to take another L again. And when Forces take an L, they're just going to completely just remove that whole modern Sonic 3D boosting. They're just going to remove that, be done with it, and stick to what's working for them. And that's what I'm fearing. So what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. But I hope this is not the case. Only time will tell, so we'll just have to wait and see.